Right, make sure you're good. What's up, man? It's Papa back with y'all, and I got another little video, man, just talking about, this is about basically the minimum wage. I get paid $15 an hour, and I'm a car salesman, so I gotta make commission that I never get to make because they got me doing everything but my job. But let's see more about what they talking about. And don't forget, man, like and subscribe so we can go up in the algorithm. I'm trying to leave this 9 to 5.
The job I just interviewed for at the end told me they pay $45K. The way I was holding back tears, and I am right now. Data analyst role located in New York City requires several years of experience. And I know something is better than nothing, don't get me wrong, but the salaries I have been seeing for certain jobs, I am shocked with how low they've gotten.
You the same day that you interviewed with them?
The job I just interviewed for at the end told me they pay $45K.
See, now, I'm not gonna lie to you. $45K is not a good deal. I don't know what they mean by that.
So my first job out of college, I was working for this small family business up in Dallas, and they paid me pennies. They paid me $35,000 a year. Thank God I was still living with my parents. I don't know how someone can afford to live off that, but if you can, if you're one of those people that can make $35K work, I think you should be in charge of the National Treasury. But the thing is, I agreed to that. I knew the salary going in. I knew it was going to be pennies on the dollar, but I was fine with it. The crazy thing is they thought they were overpaying me. The girl that had my job before I came along, guess how much she was making? $20,000. And I never met her. I don't know what all of her responsibilities were, but assuming they were similar to what I was doing, that girl is probably working 70 to 80 hours a week easily. These owners really thought $20,000 was a fair wage and that $35,000 was a really generous offer. And they had a very lucrative business. Their cars probably cost 3 times my salary.
See, that's crazy. $20,000? Who's living off that? You must be out in the outskirts of the countries to be making that. Just saying, man.
I wish I knew this a long time ago, but you're actually supposed to dodge the question of what is your salary expectation? I know someone that used this tactic and they received $20,000 more than someone that started the same time as them.
See, this is a smart girl right here. She knows exactly how to get you the job you want or more. Because your position matters. If you have hours, why not make sure you're getting paid for your hours and not being put at the very beginning again?
So what's important to know is you never give the first number, and the first thing you do is you thank them for the offer and you say that you're very enthusiastic to join their team. Next, you say that you do not prioritize salary as the #1 reason why you want to join their company. You care more about the team fit, the company culture, or the position is something that you see yourself growing in. You should go into little specifics, like after talking to the managers, you see how much they care about their employees. The culture seems to have good work-life balance, or the role seems to allow you to specialize in certain skills. Make sure that they know that you want to work for their company, not so much because of the money, even if it is. Then you can finally say, I was wondering if you can give me a salary range for this position. Then they would give you the range. Maybe they would say something like 80 to 100, and you would say, I would prefer the 100 because, and then you go into your salary negotiation tactics. You could say, after doing some research, this is the average salary of the role. Or you could say, I'll be relocating, so this could help me with my expenses. Or you could say, these are my skills and experiences. This is what I bring to the table. Could we do this amount? Remember to be polite and grateful, and hopefully they'll see how much you want to work for the company, and hopefully they'll advocate for you, and good luck.
See, she's smart. Y'all should take her tips because she knows exactly how to finesse the interview. You interview the job before the job interview you, so you can make sure you're good versus taking and getting whatever they just give you.
Do not quit your job if you do not have anything lined up. I don't care if you're a server. I don't care if you work at the damn movie theater. I don't care if you're a customer support rep. Do not quit your job. Now is not the time. It is a tough job market right now. I have a couple of clients that I'm applying to jobs for them. The average number for one interview is literally 60 jobs. And I'm not talking about easy apply, Indeed. I'm talking about straight up getting on the company's website and applying. I'm applying for them, and these are people with master's degrees, bachelor's degree, experience on experience on experience. And I'm having trouble getting them a damn call center job. Do not quit your job. It took me 6 months in order just to get the job that I just started last week. And as tough as it is, especially with a toddler, I ain't quitting. Do not quit unless you have something else lined up, because the job market sucks.
See, she's smart. Even with the kid, she knows, don't quit. Because if you quit, who's going to pay those bills? Really. That's why I say, chat, or community, that always work smart towards the job. Work smart towards the job. Figure it out. Find out if it's you. But work hard towards you. I'm telling you. And don't forget to like and subscribe, And let me know in the comments. What's your biggest salary? Mine's is like $40,000. But take out the 32,000 I'm making. Not livable.
Ask what your desired compensation range might be. Do you have, either a number in mind or a range in mind that you're looking for your next opportunity?
I'm pretty flexible right now. Do you guys have like a budget you're working with?
So for this role, we're looking at probably between 80 and 90,000 as the salary. There is potential for up to 10% for an annual corporate bonus, but obviously that's not guaranteed. That's based on the company's performance too. So the range for the salary is probably between about 80 to 90,000. I don't know if that works with what you're seeking, or if not, what are you looking for?
I really want you guys to take note of how I push the range back to her, right? She asked me what my range was, or am I looking for a number? I wanted to say minimum 130, but I was like, let me just push it back. And she's like, we're working with 80 to 90. Honestly, that's a bit low for me.
See, another smart individual. They know how to investigate the job and find out the prices they're really paying. Because I've always thought of, if I got a job, at least I got a job, but it's really not, it's really deeper than it is. So be smart, guys or girls.
Yeah, so I had a job interview today, right? And I was so nervous. My anxiety was through the roof. But it went great. It was amazing. Oh, my hair's sticking up. I need to. But back to the story. So we walking out the interview room, and he's like, yeah, you have great natural energy you're kind of looking for, blah, blah. So I don't think the next thing out of his mouth was going to be, when can you start? It's, baby, today. I was going to say, today, I'm ready with you. I already told my job I'm not going to be here too much longer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm ready. And then, y'all, I had to control my face. My heart said, next thing this man said, he said, so yeah, I think you're good to move on to the third interview. I thought this was going to be a quick 1-2 punch. Another one. I gotta have anxiety all over again. You know how hard I was praying about today? Oh, how many times I gotta prove to you that I'm that girl? I'm what you looking for. Come on, please.
Yeah, just from seeing that tells you a lot of these jobs, they're tricking you to where they're asking you, oh, how much you want to make, so they can already give you that set price when you could have made double or triple that. That's the crazy thing. They don't want us to win. They just want us to slave for them. I'm just saying, man, y'all be careful though. Let me know down below. Have you gotten a job where it just don't seem right? It just don't pay good enough? And then you find out years later?
I did 6 first-round interviews this week. I was asked 6 times, tell me about yourself. I was asked 6 times why I want to work there. I was asked 5 times my greatest weakness. You can hate all these questions. I hate them. I don't ask most of them either. But when I try and give you some tips on how to answer these questions, understand this is why. Job searching is really hard. There's not another recruiter on here, as far as I know, giving this kind of advice while on the market for the second time in 6 months. But interviews aren't a big trick or game. I'm answering the same things over and over and over again. You can get ready for this stuff. You can do well at this stuff. Sometimes we spend so much time focusing on why it should be another way, when we can just say, this is how it is, and here's what to do. There's no behind the scenes magic happening. Everyone's just asking you to do the same things over and over again, and you can be ready to do them.
See, he's not lying, literally. You gotta be careful with these jobs and investigate. Find out if they're really you. I'm just gonna keep saying it. Don't forget though, like and subscribe, man. Comment down below. Have you ever had to even quit a job to get a better job?
I'm sorry to any HR managers, HR VPs, or recruiters watching this. I'm gonna expose a secret right now. Every single recruiter hopes that when they give you the offer, that you sign it with no question. But they expect you to push back and ask for more money. That is why, no matter what, even if they give you what you ask for more money, because they are expecting you to do a pushback. And they'll either tell you what they can do at the max, or they'll bring it back to their HR team and see if they can get it adjusted. But you always want to ask for that first shot because they're expecting it, and you won't lose the offer or the opportunity if you do. Now, if you do get an offer rescinded because you asked to negotiate salary, you just dodged a bullet. That's a red flag.
See, finally, someone we find that's not gatekeeping these secrets, because I've been wanting to know, how are they figuring these out? How are people getting these jobs that I want so dearly? Let's see more.
The job I just interviewed for at the end told me they pay $45K.
So I had to come in and weigh in on this one, so buckle up. This is going to be a long, rambly, stream of consciousness one, because I have things to say. One is that for the last 20 years, my job as an elder millennial has been working on budgets and hiring, being the one-person HR man for several nonprofits. And oh boy, let me tell you, most of my bosses have been Gen X. And I cannot stress enough how much the anchor bias is playing in these salaries. At my last job a year ago, I had to spend several hours talking to my boss about why we could not post a job in New York City for $38,000 a year. And his response was, well, I worked for way less than that at my first job, so I don't understand why this isn't realistic. I told him that no one was going to do that job for that amount of money. But in his mind, he couldn't grapple with how much inflation has changed between when he started working and now. And that's not just him, but human beings aren't really good at that. So I actually did the math. I did an inflation calculator from my first job to today's salaries. And doing almost the same job as what we were hiring for. In 2007, I would have made $5,000 more than what he wants to pay this new starting person when you adjust that salary for inflation. So I wouldn't discount just how much that anchoring is really affecting what people are willing to pay. And also there is still this really deep, well, I did it when I was young, so why can't these young kids today do it? Very much underlying a lot of this logic. And again, cannot grasp that shit's different now. Even as an elder millennial, it is not the same. I might have been one of the last generations that got to go to college for not a stupendous amount of money. For undergrad at least, because the state actually still paid for some of my college. I chose an in-state university about 5 years after tuition had been unfrozen. Because for most of the 80s and 90s, tuition in my state was frozen, so it hadn't quite jumped up yet. In-state tuition for my university in 2003 was $3,700. I just looked up what tuition's gonna be for 24-25. There's no more in-state because that state does not pay for any of their universities anymore. So in-state or out-of-state, tuition next year is $18,000. Not books, not room and board, just tuition.
See, she needs to be up into promoting more of this school and stuff, because I never knew this much money was going around just for tuition. Like, what? Let's see more.
If you adjusted what I paid in 2003 for today's dollars, they should be paying about $7,000, not $18,000. So no, to my former boss, shit's different now. Kids can't work for no money when they have student loans to pay. And they all have student loans to pay. We also can't just limit our job pool to people whose parents can afford to subsidize them. The nonprofit world really talked a big game in 2020 and 2021 about how we are changing the world. But then when money came into play, everyone spun around on their heels. It was sickening to watch. The other piece that I want to talk about that's true of nonprofits in particular, but as I've talked about in other videos, is a contagion that is spreading to other fields, is just how fucked economics are right now. And I'm not just talking about the stock market, I'm talking about fundamental economics. Nonprofits are a canary in the coal mine, and our budgetary math was already not working great before the pandemic, but since reopening in 2021 or 2022, that math has worked even less because everybody who isn't at the very top is getting squeezed. Everyone is super price sensitive, and the economics of performing arts in particular don't work when your audience can't afford to pay more than $35 a ticket, but costs have gone up 4 times in the last 5 years.
And I haven't been checking on the cost and everything, but she is not lying. The cost has been going skyrocketing. It's like, what are we supposed to do? But like, every state is different prices too. Like, you get paid more, but you gotta still pay more. You get paid less, you pay a little less, but you still paying more. Don't make sense.
But I see that contagion spreading to other industries. Some of it's consumer end, the drive for lower prices. But in the for-profit world, it's very much being driven by a fundamental disconnect between the stock market and real world. When investors, and particularly the higher upper echelon investors, demand ever increasing returns, and CEOs are allowed to do stock buybacks to boost their stock prices temporarily, then all of this money is getting captured by this very small group. And that means that there's not a lot left to go around for everybody else, except that's actually hurting all of us, because at least in the United States, most of our economy is consumer spending. But consumers can't spend what they don't get. So in this drive to give that upper echelon of the stockholders the goods, by cutting costs and costs for most of the people, by ever lower salaries that do not match the realities of life in the United States in 2024. We then hurt our bottom lines next year because those consumers can't spend money that they don't have. So the stock market might be doing great, but the actual economy is fucked, which is why the stock market isn't actually any kind of indicator for the actual economic activity of the United States anymore. It's fantasy money. That's monopoly money. Literally means nothing. But nonprofits have been the canary in the coal mine for just how much this is not working anymore. And I think that contagion is spreading. This late stage capitalist cut costs at all costs is breaking us in so many ways. So yeah, that's the end of my rant. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Many contributing factors, but unsustainable trajectory nonetheless.
Yeah, to come to a conclusion, that just tells you, man, that a lot of these jobs is just being minimum wage. They're cutting a lot of people. I already told you, and if you watch over my videos, a lot of people got terminated. Like, literally everyone, almost. The only people left is me, myself, and I. But y'all let me know, though, man, down below, what y'all think of all these job things going on. And like and subscribe so we can go up in the algorithm. Thanks.